The physical land of Nigeria has traces that go back to 12,000 BC. There was some evidence that dates 500 BC, which gives proof that there was a civilization in the land of Nigeria named Nok. It was not until around 1000 AD where the true history of Nigeria began. The land of Nigeria was divided amongst four empires. There was the Benin, Oyo, the Hausa states, and Kanem Borno. These empires sort of divided Nigeria into north and south. Each empire flourished for hundreds of years. However, when Europe started expanding in search for the New World, the slave trade began, and not just Nigerians, but many Africans were taken away to become slaves. While all these empires fell off on their own at different time periods, it was around 1500 AD when the empire's prominence started to fade. It wasn't until the late 1800s when these empires completely dissolved, and a few years later on the north and south unified and became the Nigeria that is known today. After the Napoleonic Wars, Great Britain brought about the idea of a British sphere of influence for Nigeria and was praised for it. By January 1st, 1901, Nigeria became a part of the British Empire, one of the biggest forces in the world at the time. In 1914, Nigeria was formally united and became the colony and proctor of Nigeria. However, following World War II, Nigerian citizens started a demand for independence. They were progressively given more control and rights for their own government by Great Britain, and October 1st of 1960, under a new constitution, Nigeria became the Federation of Nigeria. However, it was not given total control until its own Declaration of Independence in 1963. It started off with a President Nnamdi Azikiwe and Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. Balewa was assassinated in a military coup due to political unrest, and this caused the Nigerian Civil War. This was war fought to counter the secession in Biafra from Nigeria. Biafra had goals for a more nationalist country, whose leadership felt they could no longer coexist with the northern-dominated federal government. The war was caused by political, economic, ethnic, cultural, and religious tensions which were brought about before Nigerian independence. In 1970, Biafra surrendered. Since the First Republic was overthrown, for the time being the general of the army, Murtala Muhammad, ruled Nigeria until he was assassinated in 1976 to terminate the military rule. A new constitution was formed, one that called for a more prominent president. Shehu Shagari was democratically elected as the Nigerian president. On December 31st, 1983, the military overthrew the Second Republic. Major General Muhammad Buhari became the military leader of the new government, saying there was corruption and administrative incompetence. He emerged as the leader of the Supreme Military Council, the country's new ruling body. President Shagari was placed under house arrest, and several of his cabinet members were either jailed or exiled. The Constitution of the Third Republic was drafted in 1989 when General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, the military head of state, promised to terminate military rule by 1990. Babangida established two political parties, the center-right National Republican Convention and the center-left Social Democratic Party. The presidential election was postponed till June 12, 1993 due to political unrest. Mushu Kashimawa Alawe Abiola, a wealthy Yoruba businessman, won a decisive victory in the presidential elections on the center-left Social Democratic Party platform. On June 23, 1993, Babangida had the election annulled, and this threw the country into chaos. Babangida eventually bowed to pressures from his inner circle and resigned from office on August 23, 1993. Ernest Shonekan assumed the office of the presidency. Shonekan was unable to manage the political turmoil which ensued in the post-Babangida months. He was quietly removed from office on November 17, 1993. On June 11, 1994, President-elect Mushu Kashimawo Alawe Abiola declared himself president and went into hiding. The Abacha administration hunted Abiola down and arrested him for treason. With the country sliding into chaos, Defense Minister Sean Abacha assumed power and forced Shonekan's resignation on November 17, 1993. Abacha dissolved all democratic institutions and replaced elected governors with military officials. Following the death of Abacha in 1998, his successor, General Abdulsalami Abubakar initiated the transition which brought in Nigeria's return to democratic rule in 1999. The ban of political activities was lifted, and political prisoners were released from detention facilities. The Constitution was styled after the one founded in the Second Republic, democratic elections and all. Olusegun Obasanjo became the first president in 1999. Obasanjo spent most of his presidency restoring Nigeria and repairing it for the many years of destruction and turmoil. A better economy, largely based on oil, more civil rights given to its citizens, Nigeria continues to work on becoming a more stable country. With Muhammad Buhari returning to office as the fourth president, Nigeria has become more politically stable than ever. While there are still some small communal problems, as of right now, it looks like the Fourth Republic is there to stay.